morning. How are you this morning? It's Cristo here on TalkTV. So there's lots for us to discuss. Paul Britton will be here, leading criminal defence lawyer, and that's all live. This is TalkTV. All right, so talking of tasteful, it's not a word used about you very much, is it? Paul Britton, leading criminal defence lawyer. Hello, morning.
It's normally in good taste.
In good taste. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So what do you think? So we've got two stories this morning about how tasteful it is regarding events around someone's death. One, an awful terror attack. One, the death of arguably the most famous woman in the world at the time. What do you think? I mean, first, is it right to put those two stories together and these claims that Diana was pregnant by Mohammed Al-Fayed, and also, you know, the reenactment of 7/7? So they both centre around what do you include, what don't you include? Do you make these sorts of reenactments at all? What do you think?
Well, I'm a lawyer, so the truth has to come out, and whatever the facts might be is what the public have a right to be educated on. These programmes are actually very good because you and I are a little bit older and we know the stories, and we know the stories as they evolved, but the younger generations don't know any of the issues, any of the facets. And I think it's right that the Al-Fayed's allegations came out. I think it's right that if Diana was pregnant, that we know that she was pregnant. And I think I heard before I came on air you speaking to another lady about
Kinsey.
Private telephone calls between Charles and...
they were included.
Oh, I mean, so what? If it's true...
I suppose the argument regarding the Crown, and I suppose this is where it's a bit different to something like a 7/7 drama, would be that that there were elements of the Crown that were invented.
Were invented?
Yeah, there are parts of that drama that clearly sort of didn't happen. Like, there's going to be a part in the new series where Diana's ghost visits Charles after she's died. They omitted...
So that's a bit silly.
Yeah, they've had elements of other conversations that didn't happen, or they've stretched the truth on other things. They also didn't include an alleged kidnap plot. Well, it wasn't alleged. It actually happened. It was a kidnap plot against Princess Anne that happened in the 1970s.
They didn't include it.
They didn't include that.
Maybe it wasn't good TV.
It would have been amazing television. I mean, someone tried to kidnap Princess Anne outside Buckingham
So why
Palace.
didn't they include it? I mean,
we don't know.
This is the thing.
So unlike the 7/7 drama, which I think would have to be absolutely spot on with absolutely every detail,
not sensationalised.
The Crown haven't been, and they have sensationalised things. So I suppose there is an argument to say, well, if they've used artistic licence on other parts, why can't they leave that bit out and not dredge up those rumours again?
This is a question for the producers. We should get one of them on your show.
Yeah,
I'm
asking you, though. What do you think?
I think it should be accurate. It should be factual. I don't think that they should embellish, sensationalise. This thing about the ghosts that you've just mentioned, I mean, that's just going to ruin the whole series for me. And I didn't realise that they had... When I sat and watched The Crown, you've ruined the whole series for me now. I better stop watching it.
I've ruined the whole series.
You've ruined the whole series for me.
I was
really enjoying it. Now I have to watch it again and have to pick apart.
Okay. Well, that's what you do have to do, though.
I'll have to fact check it. Yeah, but I normally get paid to do it.
You do. Can't you do it for entertainment?
It's entirely different.
See, this is why this show is so brilliant. You don't need to fact check anything. It's all accurate. Okay, but what about then 7/7?
Yeah.
So the issue with this story is that one of the victims who was the most injured, Daniel Biddle, has said that it's sick that they're reenacting this. So if you look at the picture on the front page of The Sun this morning, you'll see that very famous red bus that was from the attack.
That's contemporaneous. That was at the time, isn't it? That's not the
No, that's the reenactment.
Is that the reenactment?
Yeah, so it's absolutely spot on accurate that you can see. I'll just hold that up for you, and you can see people climbing on the bus. That is members of the production team that are the TV crew that are all climbing over the bus that they have used to recreate the scene. Now, one of the victims has said that this is, pretty sick, branded Disney shameful. He was the most badly injured survivor. And he told The Sun on Sunday, "It's shameful. I can't ever forget 7/7 or get over it. It's a lack of respect by Disney." But as I said in the last hour, and I think this is the bit that matters the most, producers did not even contact him. He wasn't consulted. However, it is being made by the BAFTA winner Jeff Pope. It is, I think, very important myself that these things are documented. Now, apparently show sources have said that producers have been and will be speaking to a number of people, and that they will try and be as accurate as possible and as tasteful as possible. So
I think contacting the victims is important. I was on a breakfast show recently about the Jamie Bolger murders, and they contacted the families to say, we're doing this show, are you okay with it? And I just thought that was very, very classy. It was a very good thing to do. I'm really surprised that they haven't contacted the victims.
But I think the argument for something like this would be that there were hundreds of people injured in this.
Well, this guy's one of the most injured, and I'm sure...
Did you then get into a hierarchy of...
I'm the most injured, yeah. It's
you
not
know what I mean? Oh,
competition.
you had one that died, so we're going to contact you. You were really badly injured, great. Oh, what? You're only traumatised? Oh, we're not going to contact you then. Sorry, you don't get asked.
It's not a name that I've seen before, but he may have been in the press previously, and if he has got some sort of profile and link to the 7/7, then surely they ought to have contacted him, or even there's 100. Okay, there are 100 named victims. It doesn't take much to send an email to say we're doing this show. We're going to do it in a dignified way.
About 400, 500 people were injured.
But isn't the salient point? Isn't it important that this story is actually told?
I agree. I absolutely agree. But
that's what it boils down to.
It's the protocol of who you contact. So someone sent me a really great tweet on this morning. David making a very good point, saying the Boxing Day tsunami killed an estimated 230,000 people. The film The Impossible, made in 2012, recreated that. It's a brilliant movie. It's Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor and a young Tom Holland that are in that movie. If you go on the PTSD argument, are you supposed to consult every person that's involved? Are larger disasters considered fair game?
Well, the scope of PTSD over the last decade has widened so massively.
And it's the same as if you were to do a drama of, say, the Manchester Arena bombing. Again, that's going to be... Who do you ask? Like, how many people do you ask?
Well, is it not just for the producers to show reasonable endeavours or best endeavours to say, look,
now you're being legal, aren't you?
Well, I am, and they are terms that we use in law, and it comes up quite a lot. You just have to show that you did try, and isn't that forgiven enough from the public?
Well, yeah, but then I suppose my argument again would be, I mean, I fundamentally agree with you. I do think that these dramas need to be made, but I suppose, you've got we're covered legally, but then would you be covered in the court of public opinion?
No, well, that's the thing.
That you are, there is the danger that you would be...
That's always a problem with news headlines, isn't it? There's no balance to it. They've got this guy, this victim, they've gone on his story, and no one's bothered to say balanced journalism and to say, let's speak to them and see what they've actually done about it.
But arguably the most injured survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the public...
Have we fact-checked that?
So, well, I mean, he lost both his legs, his spleen, and, so he was, even if he wasn't the most injured, he was pretty injured. And I suppose... Again, you've got that, well, the producers could do the tick box, go, right, phew, we're covered legally, great. Our lawyers, we've called Paul Britton, and he's told us that we've made these reasonable endeavours, great, action, get filming. But then the public say, well, hang on, no, this is bad. And what happened in...
Yeah, well, that's a hopeless lawyer, isn't it, really? That's just textbook rather than a bit of common sense. So when you go to a decent lawyer, then they think of those things.
We'll say it wasn't you.
Yeah. Thank you for
that. In 2007...
You would get public relation, a PR team on this and say, look, to
doesn't that make it all a bit tasteless? Like, all of that makes it a bit tasteless.
No, you're bringing in experts that will say, have we gone about this in the right way? Not just the legalistic side, but how is this, as you said, and
How
you
is
rightly
this going to
said,
play to the public?
how is it going to play to the public? And not PRs that are going to spin it, but PRs that are going to deliver it in a factual way.
Yeah.
So that you tick the box of, oh, public are going to be okay with this. But there was nothing until this. I didn't see anything in the papers until this. There was no run up to it.
I don't know. The producers would say that they have spoken to people, and perhaps those people haven't revealed it.
There was nothing in any news or any papers.
And presumably as well, which has probably hamstrung the producers a little bit when it comes to the victims that they've not spoken about. It's great journalism from The Sun to find out that this is happening. If they have spoken to victims, then presumably those victims would also have had to have signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that the press, they wouldn't be able to go. I've been up for, when I tread the boards as an actor, I'm up now and then for parts in things that are about real events, and before you even get the script for the part, you get an NDA.
But it doesn't stop Disney releasing stuff. An NDA would be to their benefit to prevent you from talking about it before it got into the press.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's interesting, and it's a balance that needs.
The NDA
to be made.
the non-disclosure agreement is to restrict you, not to restrict Disney.
Yes, but presumably, bearing in mind the paranoia of TV and dramas, that they wouldn't want other people knowing that it's being made, wouldn't want thousands of people turning up on the day of filming.
But then what a way for it to come out. Again, it's for them, it's a PR
This has
disaster.
been a PR disaster. No, you're right. And
spending a little bit of money earlier on. But actually, you know, what they say, all publicity is good publicity, and now we all know about it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are looking forward to it and want to watch it.
Yeah, I'd want to watch it. I love things like this because I just think it puts you in the moment and it really invests you in.
But it'd be interesting hearing from Daniel to say why are you so against it? Why do you not want this?
But I think a big part of it is that he wasn't asked. I think that's a really big part of
isn't that's just more personalities and egos and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he would argue that he was the most injured, or one of the most injured, arguably, and that he had the right to be asked. Anyway, it's an interesting story. We'll talk about this a little bit more coming up, and then find out. And we really are going to do this story this morning because things got so heated yesterday that we didn't get a chance to crack this one open. But your bank tracking your carbon footprint, how thrilled you are about that one. And we'll also talk about why 200 Cambridge University students are having a complete meltdown. And all of that is next here on TalkTV.